विशेष समारोह में हम सभी यहाँ पर एकत्रित हुए हैं एनएचआरसी के नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट्स कमीशन के राष्ट्रीय मानवाधिकार आयोग के 30वें स्थापना दिवस के उपलक्ष्य में। आज का दिन सभी के लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है, अहम है और आप सभी हमारे साथ इन खुशियों में शामिल हुए हैं, उसका विशेष रूप से आपका धन्यवाद करना चाहेंगे, आभार व्यक्त करते हैं। Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure and delight to have you all here on this very important occasion, as today we celebrate the 30th Foundation Day of the National Human Rights Commission. A day which stands extremely important for us, for we once again revisit and reprint the very vision and mission of NHRC in our minds and hearts, and then plan for a more progressive future for the Commission and for the nation. Towards that, your presence itself is a great support for all of us. Thank you to each one of you. ये कहा जाता है कि आपकी खुशियाँ दुगनी हो जाती हैं जब आपके साथ आपके अपने होते हैं, आपके अपने दोस्त, वेल विशर्स, फ्रेंड्स, मेंटोर्स, एडवाइज़र्स, सलाहकार। तो सभी आज हमारे साथ हैं जो एनएचआरसी के इस 30 वर्षों की जर्नी में, यात्रा में हमारे साथ रहे हैं। आप सभी का बहुत बहुत फिर से पुनः धन्यवाद। और हम आप सभी से निवेदन भी करना चाहेंगे, जो लोग अंदर की तरफ आ रहे हैं, कि आप अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें जल्द से जल्द। अपने मोबाइल फ़ोन्स को भी प्लीज़ साइलेंट मोड या मीटिंग मोड पर रखें। आपको इस कार्यक्रम के बारे में थोड़ा सा मैं बताना चाहूँगी कि माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी जो हमारे आज के This is for our honorable ambassadors and diplomats and the representatives from UN agencies. Most of the addresses are going to be in Hindi. We have the interpreters and they are going to be giving you the headsets just now. So once you leave, you're requested to kindly just keep the headset on your chairs only and they'll collect it. Thank you. If you can just give the headsets, please.
हेलो हेलो
थोड़ा सा आगे हो जाएंगी आगे नहीं जा सकती या उनको भी आप साइड में ऐसे करना मैं बताती हूँ आपने ये दिया Ladies and gentlemen, we have our interpreters because most of the addresses are going to be in Hindi. In case any of you is wanting the headset, you can kindly raise your hand. We'll send our representative. And just a request, when you leave for the day, kindly leave the headsets on your chairs. जो लोग अंदर की तरफ आ रहे हैं उनसे फिर से पुनः निवेदन कि आप जल्द से जल्द अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। Echo to they will have to control. Can we just request from the console? There is a slight echo in the voice. If you can just manage that.
कुछ कर रहे हैं ना बोल रहे हैं तो अच्छा वो कर रहे हैं हेलो आया नहीं आ रहा ना कुछ
देवी सज्जनों, आप सभी से निवेदन है कि आप जल्द से जल्द अपना स्थान ग्रहण करें। माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का आगमन होने जा रहा है। आपसे निवेदन है प्लीज़ अपने स्थान पर बैठ जाएं और कोई भी खड़ा ना रहे। may I just once again request people who are standing to kindly take your seats. Can I request from the console to increase the volume of the sound, please? देवीय सज्जनों, आप सभी से निवेदन है अपने स्थान पर खड़े होने के लिए और आप सभी की करतल ध्वनि के बीच उत्साहपूर्वक और अति सम्मानपूर्वक स्वागत करते हैं हमारे यशस्वी उपराष्ट्रपति जी का, माननीय श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी का। और आप सभी से निवेदन है कि अपने स्थान पर ही खड़े रहें राष्ट्रगान के लिए। जय हिंद। आप सभी से निवेदन है अपना स्थान ग्रहण करने के लिए। और अब मैं हमारे आज के मुख्य अतिथि हमारे माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी से निवेदन करती हूं कि वे अपने कर कमलों द्वारा हमारे 30वें स्थापना दिवस का शुभारंभ करें, ज्ञान और ज्योति के प्रतीक इस दीप को प्रज्वलित कर। और मंचासीन सभी से भी निवेदन है कि इस शुभ परंपरा में सहयोग दें। माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी से निवेदन है दीप प्रज्वलित करने के लिए। देवीय सज्जनों, NHRC का आदर्श वाक्य है, मोटो है, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिना। सभी लोग स्वस्थ रहें, सभी लोग सुखी रहें, सभी का मंगल हो। और इसी शुभकामना के साथ, इसी मंगल कामना के साथ हम अपने 30वें स्थापना दिवस का शुभारंभ कर रहे हैं माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी के कर कमलों द्वारा, साथ साथ सभी हमारे वरिष्ठ मेंबर्स के द्वारा। और देवी सज्जनों, हम सभी के लिए आज बहुत ही गर्व का मौका है कि जब आज हम अपना स्थापना दिवस मना रहे हैं, उस अवसर पर हमारे साथ माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी हैं। माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी की उपस्थिति से निश्चित रूप से हमारा कार्यक्रम और भव्य बना है और सम्मानित हुआ है और प्रतिष्ठित बना है। विशेष रूप से सभी की तरफ से आभार हम व्यक्त करते हैं और आभार व्यक्त करने के लिए मैं अब निवेदन करती हूँ माननीय न्यायमूर्ति श्री अरुण मिश्रा जी से, अध्यक्ष राष्ट्रीय मानव अधिकार आयोग, कि वे माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का अभिवादन करें, उन्हें शॉल भेंट कर और फूल भेंट कर। देवी सज्जनों, कहते हैं कि फूल अपनी खुशबू से पूरे समा को महकाते हैं, वह कहीं ना कहीं आने वाले को एक महकता हुआ और एक चहकता हुआ सुस्वागतम का संदेश भी देते हैं। तो यही संदेश, मैसेज हम सभी की तरफ से माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी को। और हमारे साथ यहाँ पर सुप्रीम कोर्ट के जजेस हैं, हाई कोर्ट के जजेस हैं। आपको ये भी बताना चाहेंगे कि माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी ने राजस्थान कोर्ट में और इवन इन दी सुप्रीम कोर्ट, हाई कोर्ट में उन्होंने प्रैक्टिस किया है ऑलमोस्ट 40 वर्षों तक। तो हम सभी के लिए एक बहुत ही खुशी का और गर्व का दिन है कि उनके करकमलों द्वारा आज हमारा स्थापना दिवस का उद्घाटन किया गया। देवी सज्जनों, इस साल जब हम अपनी आज़ादी का अमृत महोत्सव मना रहे हैं, इनफैक्ट हम अगले पड़ाव में आ गए हैं 25 साल अमृत काल में, और हम इस दरमियान एक समृद्ध समाज, एक समावेशी विकास वाला भारत के निर्माण की परिकल्पना कर रहे हैं। तब ये ज़रूरी हो जाता है कि हम मानव से मानवता की ओर बढ़ें और एक सुंदर विचारधारा वाले भारत का निर्माण करें। हम वैसे भी हम हमेशा कहते आए हैं कि भारत ने हमेशा वसुदेव कुटुंबकम की एक स्पिरिट के साथ हम आगे बढ़े हैं। तो इस विश्वास के साथ ही हम आगे बढ़ें। और देखा जाए तो पिछले 30 वर्षों से आयोग मानव अधिकारों के संरक्षण और संवर्धन की दिशा में अथक प्रयास करता आया है, और ये निहित है NHRC गीत में। तो आइए एक बार फिर मानव अधिकारों के महत्व की पुष्टि करते हुए मानवता के उद्देश्य और लक्ष्य के प्रति अपनी प्रतिबद्धता को पुनः स्थापित करते हैं NHRC गीत के माध्यम से।
मानव के सम्मान की रक्षा है संकल्प हमारा, है संकल्प हमारा। मानव के सम्मान की रक्षा है संकल्प हमारा, है संकल्प हमारा। हो गरीब दिव्यांग आदिवासी बच्चे या नारी, धर्म कोई हो है सब मानव समता के अधिकारी। मानव गरिमा के सूरज का सब पाए उजियारा, है संकल्प हमारा, है संकल्प हमारा। निरंकुश तो उनको टोकेंगे, अत्याचार कहीं भी हो आगे बढ़कर रोकेंगे। हर पीड़ित शोषित वंचित को हमसे मिले सहारा। न्याय नीति नियम नियत हो यही हमको गवारा, है संकल्प हमारा। मानव अधिकार आयोग हमारा, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः।
तो इसी संकल्प के साथ और प्रण के साथ कि हम मानव अधिकारों की रक्षा करेंगे और सभी का मंगलमय हो, इसी शुभकामना के साथ आगे बढ़ते हैं। और देवी सज्जनों, किसी भी संस्था का या संगठन का स्थापना दिवस अपने आप में बहुत महत्वपूर्ण होता है, क्योंकि एक अवसर होता है अपने अतीत का, अपने गौरवशाली इतिहास को सभी के साथ साझा करने का, सभी हितधारकों के साथ, सोसाइटी के साथ, कम्युनिटी के साथ। और साथ साथ ये एक अवसर होता है थोड़ा सा विश्लेषण करना भी, पीछे देखते हुए एक स्वॉट एनालिसिस करने का, और अतीत से संवाद करते हुए एक उज्जवल भविष्य की राह को निर्धारित करने का भी एक अवसर होता है। तो इसके लिए अब मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ हमारे आयोग के अध्यक्ष माननीय न्यायमूर्ति श्री अरुण मिश्रा जी को। आमंत्रित हैं उनके अग्रणी विचारों के लिए और उनके स्वागत संबोधन के लिए।
Honorable Vice President Shri Jagdeep Dhankar ji, members of the Commission, respected former Chief Justice of India and judges of the Supreme Court, former and present chairpersons and members of various national commissions, state human rights commissions, Lord R. Lumba, member House of Lords, officers of the central, state government and commissions, representative of United Nations organizations, diplomats, members of media, civil society organizations, distinguished invitees, ladies and gentlemen. On the occasion of 30th Foundation Day of National Human Rights Commission, we are delighted to have none other than Vice President of India, Honorable Shri Jagdeep Dhankar, as chief guest on the occasion. I also welcome all of you present here and those connected online. It is a proud privilege to extend a warm welcome to second highest constitutional head of largest successful democracy in the world. Because of his hard work, our Vice President made his mark in the field of law and was designated as senior advocate on completion of mere 11 years of practice, which is a rare achievement. I wondered about his perseverance, humility, grit and determination, which were unmatched, and I learnt a lot from him as a judge. His perseverance was unmatchable. He is proactive and ardent protector of human rights and has never been a silent spectator. We welcome you, sir. The celebration of Foundation Day is an opportunity to remember the pioneering work done by the Commission in the past and an occasion to introspect about what more can be done by us. It reminds us of human dignity and equality. All are born equal. The National Human Rights Commission has to support the weak against the mighty, poor, especially abled, other vulnerable sections of the society. The Commission addresses inaction and arbitrary action of power by executive, ensuring the benefit of social welfare schemes trickle down to the needy and poorest of the poor. It is a voice of voiceless. Protection and promotion of human rights in the country is a shared responsibility of National Human Rights Commission and State Human Rights Commissions. Besides exclusive jurisdiction in respect of subjects in the Union list, National Commission has concurrent jurisdiction with the subject of the state commissions. Constitution is our dharma. In ongoing Mahayagya of expansion of human rights, we respectfully remember the contribution of the past for our better future. Human rights find expression in Indian tradition and philosophy. Rights and duties go together in our culture, which has assimilated all dharmas like Buddhism, Jainism, Judaism, Sikhism, Christianity and Islam. Bhakti and Sufi traditions brought a reform movement in India. Violence is unproductive. Gautam Buddha and Mahavir Swami gave the world a message of non-violence, that is ahimsa. Buddhism preached democratic, deliberative practices. Lord Rama refrained Lakshmana from using weapons of mass destruction during the war. Mahabharata has instances where rivals used to visit wounded in the enemy camp during the evening to take care of them and to discuss means to end the war. What more best example can be found of human rights protection? The right to food was a recognized practice, and the service of langars in gurudwaras still manifests the same. The foundation of culture prevalent in India is based on cosmic balance. Sun and moon are essential for life on earth. Sun spreads light equal to all without discrimination. The Commission logo borrows the same and reminds us of our responsibility to ensure equality and that nobody is deprived of human rights irrespective of place of birth. Constitution is of the people, by the people, for the people. Unity in diversity of culture and religion is our dharma. The Commission has jealously preserved human rights and liberties to fulfill social and economic aspirations of diverse multicultural society. The betterment of individual as an integral part of the society is necessary. We have to strike a balance between distribution of benefits and distributive justice. Several steps have been taken for socio-economic and political upliftment of the marginalized section of the society. More affirmative action is needed. The time has come to clarify that unrepresented classes in services are provided reservation within the reserved category itself to ensure overall development, because fruits of reservation have not percolated down to the bottom. Though India has many socio-economic welfare schemes, still the reservation is needed for upliftment. We must achieve gender equality and equal rights for all, particularly for women. They cannot be discriminated against and deprived of civil liberties and rights under the guise of dharma or customary practices. Without gender equality in all respects, realization of human rights would remain a distant dream. In the world, several such religious practices and customary practices prevail, which deprive half of the population of equal dignity and gender justice, which is against the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The world is increasingly recognizing equality as parameter of human rights. It is desirable to move in the direction of uniform civil code as envisaged under Article 44 of the Constitution of India. Several countries like America, France, United Kingdom, etc. already have common civil codes. India cares for flora and fauna and biodiversity. Supreme Court has extended the reach and ambit of the human rights and recognized the right to food even for animals. Such precedents are stepping stones, not halting places. The Commission has to take human rights to its logical end. A growing concern is the deprivation of fruits of globalization and financial exploitation of a large section of global community. Every invention is for common good. An attempt at evergreening has to be frowned upon. In the wake of world trade, preventing the economic exploitation of the country and its resources is a significant challenge before the judiciary and intelligentsia of the country. Product of particular brands are earning unrealistic returns disproportionate to their worth. Life-saving medicines are to be made affordable to the poorest of the poor. Intellectual property rights of a patent holder should give way to the right to life. We still see the patents of vaccines for COVID-19 at the cost of colossal loss of human life and economy world over. Due to technological advancement, new trends for violating human rights are being noticed. Cyberspace has invaded human rights, including individuals' privacy, resulting in the infringement of civil and human rights. Due to advent of e-commerce, cross-border transaction takes place. Cases of fraud in e-commerce, problems of jurisdiction, hacking data, demand for ransom in cryptocurrency multiply the difficulty of identifying and tracking the offenders. Human trafficking is prevalent in the entire world. 96% of the dark web of cyberspace has emerged as the most patent human and sex trafficking medium. Trafficking of women and children, tribals and vulnerable sections must stop. Poverty is to be eradicated, and we have to tackle the socio-economic factors responsible for this scenario at the local level. Trafficking is a matter of concern for the Commission, and its investigation wing are working on it. The world faces challenges of transborder movement of hazardous waste, degradation of environment, global warming, scarcity of potable water, no country has the right to dump waste in other developing country. We have to think globally and act locally to protect the environment. Every winter, Delhi chokes due to burning of stubble, parali in the neighboring states. It must stop at once. The same is a grave violation of the right to clean air and endangers life. Ambient air in several cities, including the capital city of Delhi, does not meet the prescribed quality standard for most of the year. The water quality in most of the rivers and streams also does not meet the specified parameters. To encourage affirmative action, the Commission has issued an advisory to prevent, minimize and mitigate impact of environmental pollution and degradation. Local self-government are duty-bound to implement statutory obligations toward the public. Many do not even arrange for garbage disposal, sewage treatment plants, and do not care for manholes on roads. To ensure timely identification, treatment, and elimination of discrimination against the persons affected by Hansen's disease, that is leprosy, the Commission in its advisory recommended amending 99 prevailing laws in India. It is a matter of satisfaction. The Government of India has accepted Advisory 2.0 issued by the Commission in 2021 to take care of the bonded labor. In the field of business and human rights, Commission has issued an advisory to improve the working condition of truck drivers, to provide insurance cover of 15 lakhs, halting places, proper food, regulation of working hours, least interface by the law enforcement agencies on roads, and for well-being of physical and mental health. Yesterday, an advisory was issued in consultation with the Indian Ophthalmic Trauma Society to prevent, minimize and mitigate ocular trauma and rehabilitate low vision persons. Various measures including proper storage of chemical such as slacked lime used in beetle which causes irreparable visual loss, use of pointed toys, and the kind of firecracker which are being currently used is also common cause of loss of vision in children. Same needs to be regulated and banned at crowded places. The Commission recently visited the mental hospital at Gwalior, Agra and Ranchi. Special rapporteurs are visiting other 39 hospitals at present in the country. The condition of hospital is required to be improved drastically. Most state governments have not complied with the mandate of the Mental Health Care Act of 2017. Thousands of persons are kept in such hospitals even after they have been cured on flimsy pretext against the provisions of the Act of 2017. Once cured, they cannot be kept in hospital and have the right to return to the community. Society and NGOs have to play an essential role in community healing as provided in the Act itself. Jails are the places to reform criminals. Unfortunately, they have become places where crimes are often committed. Urgent jail reforms are required to get rid of such acts. Crimes in jail need to be dealt with sternly. Since the state is responsible for lives and health of the inmates in jail, Commission has recommended the states formulated policy prescribing compensation in case of death in custody by suicide or negligence or otherwise than the natural causes. The condition of correction homes for juvenile, destitute, women, widows, elderly person and suffering from Hansen's disease must be looked into by the stakeholders and improved wherever necessary. Commission is aware of the problems faced by the workers involved in hazardous cleaning of the safety tanks and sewers. And by issuing an advisory on 24/9/2021, it has been advised that protective gear and safety equipment for sanitary workers should be provided, and suitable worker-friendly technology including robotic machine, bandicoot, etc. should be provided as is being done in Hyderabad. We still see apathy of local authorities towards this. The Commission has issued notices in many cases where the safety tank workers have died to fix the criminal liability of officers at the local level for not providing such amenities even after 1 year of the advisory. The Commission during the pandemic has issued 28 advisories regarding human trafficking, informal workers, disabled persons, prisoners, police personnel, particularly vulnerable tribal groups, dignity and protecting rights of the dead, mental health, food security and nutrition, etc. During the last year, commissions received more than 1.21 lakh complaints and decided more than 1.28 lakh cases and recommended monetary compensation of approximately 100 million in 250 cases. In 30 years, Commission has recommended compensation of 2.3 billion. State Human Rights Commission have received more than 17 lakhs complaint and they have decided more than approximately 15 lakh 77,000 cases and have disbursed the compensation of 50 crores. The Commission has recently engaged 28 special rapporteurs, which include 15 journal rapporteurs and 13 thematic monitors. In June, in collaboration with the Indira Gandhi National Center for Arts, the Commission organized a 2-day national conference on human rights in Indian culture and philosophy and is publishing a book on the subject. It was a very useful conference. Online internship program for 15 days organized alternative month are most popular among the students of higher studies. Beside various seminars, annual events, competitions such as short films, debates, quiz, photography, drawing and poetry are also organized by the Commission. We work in cooperation with HRDs and civil society and interact with them regularly. Recently, the Commission held camp sitting in Ranchi, Guwahati and Shillong. All the core groups to advise the Commission on various issues have representatives of civil societies. The media also plays a vital role in highlighting human rights violations, enabling the Commission to take suo motu cognizance. The Commission has expanded its international footprint by strengthening cooperation with various stakeholders. The Commission is proactive in promoting human rights at Asia Pacific Forum and member of governing body of Asia Pacific Forum and Global Alliance for National Human Rights Institute and United Nations Human Rights Council. The Commission proactively engages the diplomats based in India to understand their perspective to promote human rights. Going forward, the Commission recently held training for the chairperson and members of the Nhrc of Maldives. Human Rights Day is another important annual event which is coming in December. Regardless of setbacks, along the way of monumental task, we must pick ourselves up and begin again to make the world peaceful, beautiful and boundaryless one family. Indus Valley civilization reflects the long cherished philosophy of Upanishad, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The entire world is one family. We are on a threshold of a ever better future. We have to act today for better tomorrow. Dharma is to protect, promote human rights, for which we have to profess our culture and constitutional values to fulfill the philosophy of Vedanta. Yato dharma sato jaya. I quote Buddha, you are community now. Be a lamb for yourself. Be your own refuge. Seek for no other. All things must pass. Strive on diligently. Don't give up. On behalf of Commission, I assure Honorable Vice President that Commission will continue to protect and promote human rights. I may be permitted to end with salutation to Mother India. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir, for your very insightful and progressive views and also certain concerns which once again reinforce and reprint the very vision and mission of the Commission towards creating a more equitable and a just inclusive society, being climate sensitive and building a sustainable, resilient world, protecting the rights of everyone. Thank you, sir, for inspiring everyone with your address. और देवी सज्जनों, अब हम सभी माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी के नेतृत्व और उनके मार्गदर्शन के लिए उत्साहित हैं, तो मैं करवत होकर सभी की तरफ से माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी से निवेदन करती हूं कि वे हमारे मार्गदर्शन हेतु अपने विचारों से हमें अनुग्रहित करें।
My greetings to everyone present here and those who are in virtual mode. Honorable Mr. Justice Arun Mishra ji, Chairperson, National Human Rights Commission. Congratulations, sir, for rendering such an address, very enlightened, focusing on various facets of human rights, and gratified that focus of the Commission has been on issues that concern the most vulnerable segment of society. Taking a cue from what has been given in the very enlightened, informative address, I would urge the media, they must make it a mission with a passion to ensure advisories of the Commission are put in public domain in high decibel. That will take a long way in serving cause of human rights. Distinguished members of the Commission, functionaries of the Commission, Chairperson of State Human Rights Commission, I must make particular reference to the presence of our distinguished former Chief Justice of India, Justice K.G. Balakrishnan and Justice Indira Banerjee. Also Lord Lumba, diplomats present here, and everyone in the audience. After listening to Justice Mishra, I would have to reshape most of my address. Justice Mishra has indicated in a very lucid manner the kind of emotive response the Commission is rendering to make life easy of those who are in need of it. I am delighted to be associated with the celebration of 30th Foundation Day of this Commission. Congratulations to everyone in the NHRC for being guardians of human rights of underprivileged and vulnerable sections of society. Also, grateful to the Commission for thought-provoking advisories that catalyze action, affirmative action by the agencies that are required to their duties. Appreciate NHRC for propagating philosophy that human rights nurture and blossom in a regime where there is rule of law and not law of the ruler. It is a befitting recognition of NHRC dedicated efforts and high standards that NHRC India has retained its A status of accreditation with Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions for the 4th consecutive year. I have no doubt this track record would ever be on incremental trajectory. This indicates our nation's excellent recent record as regards human rights. Justice Mishra reflected, focusing on our age-old civilization ethos, that we in this country take the world to be a village. Our concern is not limited to ourselves. Our concern is for the entire world. We are yet to have another nation that can match our unrivaled record. We never believed as a nation in expansion. Any expansion, particularly of geographical boundaries, involves violation of human rights of an extreme degree. This nation has never done so. I am beholden to Justice Mishra for making reference to our civilizational ethos. Human rights as a concept cannot be reckoned only in the narrow sense of preservation of personal liberty and dignity. They have to be understood in broad context. I will not go further on this because in a very comprehensive encyclopedic manner, Justice Mishra has indicated, and the various advisories issued indicate the various facets in which human rights are vulnerable and need nurturing and protection. I would recall at this time what Nelson Mandela said. I quote him: "To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity," I unquote. And I can assure this audience, those who suffer in silence, their power is enormous on a day of reckoning. And there could be no more eminently justifiable comment than emanating from one who all his life followed it, following the footsteps of our father of the nation. Freedom has been defined in varied ways, but the most apt definition of freedom is supremacy of human rights everywhere. Let us go to our constitutional essence. Let us go to the theme of all religions, and we will conclude indisputably, human dignity is the ultimate strength. If it is compromised or violated, we cannot have a society that justifies human existence. We can have a more just, safe, and peaceful world only with universal respect for human rights. I can tell you out of my own input that series of governance systemic reforms and affirmative initiatives, particularly in the field of health and economic sectors in recent years, have spinally nurtured human rights. Inclusive growth, and which is quintessence of preservation of human rights. Inequality and iniquitous distribution of wealth are elements that cut into the finest aspects of human rights. Inclusive growth, by its very nature, is antidotal to violation of human rights. Human rights protection assures a dignified life. In our country, it has been reflected in ample measure. When 400 million people came to be brought into the banking network, their human rights flourished. I can say so for the reason that when I became a lawyer and needed a library, 6,000 rupee loan given to me by a bank changed my professional trajectory. I was ever beholden to the man who gave me 6,000 rupee loan in 78, 79 without a surety. And what is the scenario today? Have an idea, and you will find money in this country is not a constraint. And that is why this country can legitimately take pride that thanks to buttressing human rights culture, we have unicorns of more than 1 billion fiscal dimension, and startups that have started and stunned the world. When I was a member of parliament in 1989, 33 years ago, one of the most prized possessions of power in my hand was I could give 50 gas connections to anyone in a year. That was a great power. I had a queue of people who wanted it. Imagine the respect we have paid to human rights of our women folk, families of the deprived, that 200 million and more connections, 200 million households were given free. We have come a long way. This is a major milestone in furthering the cause of human rights. We must always be cognizant that violation of human rights and injustice anywhere is bound to diminish our such rights in effective manner. This is more pernicious than COVID. Tolerance of violation of human rights by anyone who can afford to contribute affirmatively, I would say, is culpable and cannot be condoned. I urge everyone present here and those in attendance and media in particular, you guard human rights of others. Yours will be positively assured. Serious challenges to human rights arise primarily on account of the silent and voiceless existence of the majority of our citizens. And that I can tell you. Long back there was a study done. And I am now addressing not this silent suffering. I am addressing to those who in silence, in spite of being capable, in spite of having competence and prowess, do not act. The day is not far when, on account of their inaction and omission, they are bound to be silenced. And that does not augur well for our civilization. I am sure they would act vigilantly so that we live in a world which is visualized in sublimity by our civilizational ethos as indicated by Justice Mishra. When it comes to decimation of human rights, we cannot afford to be neutral. We have to take sides. Neutrality helps the oppressor, never the victim. As a matter of fact, the neutral man is hardly any different from the oppressor. Silence encourages the tormentor, never the tormented. In such scenario, there is no option but to be proactive, and we must interfere. Human rights are quintessential to flourishing democracy. Democratic values are of no significance in the absence of human rights. Nurturing human rights is the nectar of dignity and dignified human existence. I had the occasion to serve the nation in a constitutional position as Governor State of West Bengal for about 3 years. I must express here a very deep sense of gratitude on behalf of the people at large that the report rendered by the NHRC carried highest degree of credibility. The report rendered in shortest possible time as a consequence of a judicial fiat. The work done was beyond my contemplation. I read every word of it, and the first sentence would ever resonate in my ears. Law of the ruler, not rule of law, is the bane of human rights in the state. I am sure this should not be limited to one state. The preposition that emanated from NHRC is a general preposition applicable to any part of the globe if there is law of the ruler, that is law of an individual, maybe in a family, maybe in an establishment, maybe in a factory, and not rule of law. That's a very, very painful scenario. Flourishing of human rights generates positive ecosystem that facilitates optimal utilization of human resource. Can there be exploitation of human genius if the person is made to suffer indignity? If the person is made to suffer violation of human rights? Civilization takes a new leap into future only when we have an ecosystem that provides fullest opportunity for everyone to exploit his or her potential and talent. Impactful evolution of transparent and accountable mechanism. I'm referring to what is happening in our country. I've seen it for myself. India is having increasingly sharp, incisive, transparent, and accountable mechanism. It is coupled with ease of governance, and that has provided environment for flourishing of human rights. I say so because facts demonstrate it. If such a system was not obtaining, thousands of entrepreneurs and young minds would have been in queue for unemployment, maybe underemployment. But they are the ones, on account of ecosystem generated, created massive employment opportunities, and their footfall is at a global level. Poor and vulnerable are easy victims of menace, and this menace is corruption. Enough has been done in the country to cut down human interface in dealing with fiscal matters. COVID was a challenge, and where this country, on account of steps taken by it, by the vision of the Honorable Prime Minister, we had a digital footprint everywhere, and there was direct transfer of money. Imagine the entire farmer populace getting 3 times a year direct benefit transfer. Everyone now gets it directly, which means the worst sufferer are those whom we call middlemen, liaison agents, or those who take a cut. Continual onslaughts on corruption, and I'm sure everyone here is aware, without any distinction, there is unleashing virtually a war on corruption. The corrupt cannot be protected on account of lineage, political affiliation, caste, creed, or region. The corrupt in a democratic society governed by rule of law for sake of tribute to human rights has to be brought to book. The long arm of law has to take it, and this has resulted in benefit going to the deserving ones. Challenge to human rights emanate from several quarters, also state actors, natural disasters, pandemic, famine, poverty, to name just a few. Judicial steps, Human Rights Commission initiatives, and affirmative steps of the government have considerably contained these challenges if we go by our recent experience. COVID is one such experience. But the most soothing aspect of COVID was that those who barely could afford for themselves engaged into hand-holding. I am personal witness to it. I have seen with tears in my eyes a tea vendor will be giving packets to those who are in need during COVID. And that is the greatest tribute that we in this country still subscribe to the best of ethos of our civilization. The pro-human rights foundational spirit, we can find it in our Vedas. And I will make reference to one Veda which I will translate in English for benefit of everyone. May everybody be happy. This was focused by Justice Mishra when he said, we take the whole world as one, which means we care for everyone, not for ourselves or our geographical limit habitations. May everyone be happy. May everybody be free from disease. May everybody see auspiciousness. May no one have sufferings. End quote. I would travel a little beyond human beings. our planet is not repository or exclusive only to human beings. We have living species, and that is how and why our culture has taken care of this aspect also. Culture of coexistence makes our world wonderful and worth living. I would invite your attention. There was jubilation all over when we got from Africa cheetahs. Go to the theme of it. Go to the cause of it. We in the world cannot suffer a species disappearing. We cannot be cause of it. We have to be a reason for its survival. And that action which we are endangering living beings by reckless, irrational exploitation of natural resources, and those who think they are gaining thereby are bound to be the worst victims of climate change, because they have learned over the years to live in the comfort of that environment while others can face it little boldly. We must discharge our duty. Constitutional scheme of events was reflected by Justice Mishra. I will make particular reference to one duty which is in Article 51 capital A G. Our Constitution ordains every citizen to protect and improve the natural environment and to have compassion for living creatures. India fortunately has a robust and strong mechanism of human rights regulations, both at the center and state level. I must commend and appreciate the National Human Rights Commission for hand-holding the state commissions to be proactive and reach out to every nook and corner of this country. I also appreciate the Commission for being a visionary. Some of the advisories the Commission has imparted, I had the occasion to focus on them, but I did not contribute in the manner in which I should have contributed. As a matter of fact, Justice Mishra, like a good judge, has given a senior advocate some homework to be done so that I can use my platform as chairman of Rajya Sabha, the upper house, to give message to them also that we need to take note of the silent work which a spinal organization like Nhrc is doing. The under coverage of their advisories makes media and others responsible for not containing violation of human rights. I have highest regard for media, and I am sure rather than engage in high decibel sensationalization of other news, they must take it in the top gear and as lead news. Protection of human rights is not the responsibility alone either of the government or of the Nhrc, of institutions. It is a shared responsibility of everyone who lives on the planet. I urge every citizen to work for protection and promotion of human rights, and this is easiest done because there would hardly be a day when we will not come across, though in a subtle manner, some transgression of human rights. I congratulate Justice Mishra, all the very distinguished, enormously talented members of the Commission, and very hard-working personnel for their devotional work. I would ever remember the time I spent here, because I will go from this place inspired, motivated, energized, and invigorated to be a foot soldier to serve human rights for the planet. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice President, sir, for your very insightful, inspiring and thought-provoking address, igniting our minds to do service to the nation and to the world, and infusing energy in everyone with your very appreciative words for NHRC. Thank you, Honorable Vice President. और अब आयोग के महासचिव श्री देवेंद्र कुमार सिंह जी को मैं आमंत्रित करती हूँ, निवेदन करती हूँ। धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव रखने के लिए।
एक बार पुनः आप सभी का मानव अधिकार आयोग की ओर से हार्दिक अभिनंदन। आज के इस स्थापना समारोह में मुख्य अतिथि भारत गणराज्य के माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति श्री जगदीप धनखड़ जी, राष्ट्रीय मानव अधिकार आयोग के माननीय अध्यक्ष श्री न्यायमूर्ति अरुण मिश्रा जी, आयोग के माननीय सदस्यगण श्री न्यायमूर्ति MM कुमार, डॉक्टर ज्ञानेश्वर मूले, श्री राजीव जैन, आयोग के फॉर्मर चेयरमैन श्री KG बालाकृष्णन, जस्टिस इंदिरा बनर्जी, लॉर्ड राजलुम्बा, चेयरपर्सन माइनॉरिटी कमीशन, संबंधित राष्ट्रीय आयोगों के अध्यक्षगण, राज्य मानव अधिकार आयोगों के अध्यक्ष एवं सदस्यगण, आयोग के डायरेक्टर जनरल, देश के विभिन्न राज्यों से आए हुए वरिष्ठ पदाधिकारीगण, भारतवर्ष में कार्यरत संयुक्त राष्ट्र एजेंसियों के प्रतिनिधिगण, विभिन्न देशों के राजदूत एवं डिप्लोमैट्स, गैर सरकारी संगठनों एवं सिविल सोसाइटी के प्रतिनिधिगण, अन्य आमंत्रित अतिथिगण तथा मानव अधिकार आयोग परिवार के सभी स्पेशल रिपोर्टियर्स, मॉनिटर्स, कोर ग्रुप मेंबर्स, अधिकारीगण, कर्मचारीगण एवं इस सभागार में उपस्थित देवियों एवं सज्जनों, आज राष्ट्रीय मानव अधिकार आयोग के 30वें स्थापना दिवस समारोह में मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में उपस्थित होकर माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय ने न केवल हमें गौरवान्वित किया है, अपितु इस समारोह की गरिमा भी बढ़ाई है। माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति महोदय ने अपने उद्बोधन में मानव अधिकार के विभिन्न पहलुओं को नया आयाम देते हुए ज्ञान के नए स्रोत एवं विचारधाराओं से हम सभी को ओतप्रोत कर दिया है, जिससे इस आयोग की आधारशिला को और भी बल मिलेगा। मैं मानव अधिकार आयोग की तरफ से उनका हृदय से आभार प्रकट करते हुए धन्यवाद व्यक्त करता हूं। मैं आयोग के अध्यक्ष माननीय अध्यक्ष श्री न्यायमूर्ति अरुण मिश्रा जी एवं माननीय सदस्यगणों के प्रति भी हृदय से आभार प्रकट करता हूं, जिनके मार्गदर्शन में इस कार्यक्रम का सफल आयोजन हुआ है। आयोग के माननीय अध्यक्ष महोदय ने अपने विचार एवं आयोग को सर्वमुखी संवेदनाओं से संचरित कर इसे और भी अधिक गहराइयां प्रदान किया है। इसके साथ ही मैं अन्य राष्ट्रीय आयोगों के अध्यक्षगण, राज्य मानव अधिकार आयोगों के अध्यक्ष एवं सदस्यगण, देश के विभिन्न राज्यों से आए हुए वरिष्ठ अधिकारीगण, भारतवर्ष में कार्यरत संयुक्त राष्ट्र एजेंसियों के प्रतिनिधिगण, विभिन्न देशों के राजदूत एवं डिप्लोमैट्स, गैर सरकारी संगठनों एवं सिविल सोसाइटी के प्रतिनिधिगण को भी इस समारोह में सम्मिलित होने के लिए तहे दिल से आयोग की तरफ से आभार अभिव्यक्त करता हूं। साथ ही मैं यहां पर उपस्थित प्रिंट, इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स तथा अन्य मीडिया के प्रतिनिधियों के प्रति भी आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, क्योंकि मानव अधिकार हनन के मामलों की जानकारी आयोग तक पहुंचाने में मीडिया की बहुत ही अहम भूमिका है। मैं मानव अधिकार आयोग से के उन सभी अधिकारियों एवं कर्मचारियों के प्रति भी आभार व्यक्त करता हूं, जिन्होंने अपने अथक परिश्रम के द्वारा इस कार्यक्रम को सफलतापूर्वक संपन्न करने हेतु पुरजोर मदद की है। अंत में मैं आयोग के प्रतीक वाक्य सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः का स्मरण करते हुए आशा करता हूं कि आयोग के 30वें स्थापना दिवस के अवसर पर आप मानव अधिकारों के संरक्षण के लिए एक नई सुबह का आगाज करने के लिए प्रतिबद्ध होंगे। एक बार पुनः मैं सभागार में उपस्थित सभी महानुभावों का राष्ट्रीय मानव अधिकार आयोग की ओर से इस समारोह को सफल बनाने के लिए हार्दिक धन्यवाद देता हूं। जय हिंद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद मान्यवर। और देवी सज्जनों, अपने उद्घाटन सत्र की समाप्ति करती हैं। एक बार फिर अपने देश, अपने प्रदेश, अपने राज्य, अपनी मातृभूमि को शत शत प्रणाम कर आप सभी से निवेदन है कि अपने स्थान पर खड़े होने के लिए राष्ट्रगान के लिए। जय हिंद। जय। पुनः विशेष रूप से धन्यवाद करते हैं हमारे आज के मुख्य अतिथि, हमारे माननीय उपराष्ट्रपति जी का, उनके देश के लिए, उनके मार्गदर्शन के लिए। आप सभी का भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया। इस समारोह में आपकी उपस्थिति से इस कार्यक्रम की शोभा बढ़ी है।